Today I'll be taking on Seoul's ancient city wall, 20 kilometers around the city of Seoul. On the way we'll have to climb thousands of stairs to reach 4 historic peaks and earn an official certificate of completion by the government of Korea. This isn't just a hike, this wall once protected the entirety of the capital of Korea. Join me as we can find out if we can make it 20 kilometers around the city of Seoul. Let's get going. Okay, it is here where our journey begins, just a mere 300 meters from Seoul Metro Station. Here we are at Sungni-moon, the southern gate to the old Seoul City Wall, where our nice 19-kilometer loop begins. And look at that, it's fantastic, isn't it? Built in 1398. And here it sits still today, damaged a couple of times, restored a couple of times. It was minorly damaged in the Korean War, and there was a 2008 arson attack as well. But here it sits today, 20,000 roof tiles, each handmade in kilns. Absolutely unbelievable. And our journey here begins, and we're about to venture up the 4 peaks of the Seoul city. Wow. Okay, so our journey has begun. I think the route is a little difficult in the city with all the modern buildings and roads and things. But you can even see here, even today, a mere 700 years later, or 600, the wall still stands. The wall is still here, surrounded by all this, well, modernness. Look at this. So we're just tracing the wall now to our very first stop, and that is Inwangsan Mountain. Okay, well that's where we're heading, and all of a sudden we've lost a lot of the city. Look how beautiful this looks. Looks a bit like China with the CCTV, doesn't it? Although there's only one camera. So right now we're just climbing out of the city. So the first summit, 338 meters, which is probably around 1,000 feet. So not too bad, but we're literally coming out of the city. So even though it's just the second highest peak by around 4-6 meters, it's going to feel like the hardest because you're almost at sea level, and then so we'll see what happens. But just another 2 Ks and we're there. But these parks look beautiful already. Look at this. Wow, so clean, tidy. We can see the old wall here, look. And we'll learn all about the wall a little later in the video. So what you'll see all over the city and the suburbs and pretty much everywhere you go are outdoor gyms. They're absolutely everywhere. But not... Oh, this one's pretty cool, isn't it? Wow. But not those like cheap granny implements, but actual, look, high bars for gymnasts. It's absolutely cool. You see a lot of old people using these, but there's no reason, you know, a younger person can't either. Look at that. It looks like a back stretcher, doesn't it? Wow. Yeah, beautiful parks all around the suburbs and everything like that. Look at these. And let's see if we have water. I'm sure we do, but our local fountains never work. Look at that. Beautiful park, what more to say? So this park represents only our first peak on the Seoul City Wall Trail. Here we are here. And we're going to be pretty much traversing the old wall all the way up to the summit right here, 338 meters. Then we're going to get our first selfie at the top. And that's just one, the first one. All right, let's go. So just following the wall all the way along here, pretty steep. But we can already see our view of what could be the first peak. One of those two, I guess. Alright, let's carry on. Okay, it looks like our summit is only 1 kilometer away. The only problem is, I think it's 1 kilometer of hardcore stairs. Yeah. Oops. Wow, so we're not too far from the first summit of our 4-summit journey around the city of Seoul. Already it looks like the Great Wall of China or something like that, and a bit of old mixed with a bit of new. So there's the 4th point in our journey. That's Namsan, I believe, with Seoul Tower on top, so we'll be there at the end of the video. You can see all the skyscrapers, and then all of a sudden, look at this. Unbelievable, right? We're almost there. Wow, look at that view. Well, we've almost made it. Okay, I thought this was the summit, but might be that one. Alright, let's carry on. Yeah, so the trail is pretty well maintained. A little busy as well, but it is Saturday, so this is Saturday for you. Which I don't think is that bad, is it? For a hefty weekend. Yeah, we're almost at our first summit now. 5 more minutes and we'll be there. Well, it looks like we finally made our first summit. A little businessman here, he's lugged up all those drinks from the bottom. Pretty good effort, but it means he's the only guy selling, so he's going to make all the money today. Crazy. Yeah, we're almost at the top. There we go. Yeah, look, beautiful views of the cities. I think we can see everywhere we're going today right now. I think that's our next destination. And then a small little park over here. And then we're going to end here around Seoul Tower. Well, look at the views just from here. Even if you only make it up this one alone, I think it's worth the trip, you know. Wow, fantastic. And it's amazing how it's so close to the middle of a city. Certainly if you go to New York, London, Paris, you're going to be far-fetched to find something of this elevation with nature in the city. I think we're here. So if you wondered how hot it is today, 30 degrees. Not too bad, I don't think. So we've been walking since the southern gate for 4.5 kilometers, which is slightly less than 3 miles. And I think most of our journey is done because we spent an hour on the metro and we had to walk to the start. So we're already over a quarter of the way. Look at these foresty views here, look. So we're not going down the same way. I think we're going to go through these forest areas. It's crazy, isn't it? It's just like the Great Wall of China, you know, they build walls to fortify and keep the old city of Seoul safe, Hanyang. And they traverse the mountains, so that's why it's not quite straight, look. And each segment of the wall here, each mountainous segment will use different sort of stones as well. So you get almost lots of different styles. So it's quite fascinating looking at it from here. But we're going to find our first checkpoint because of all these 4 summits, you need to take a selfie with different checkpoints on the mountain or at the destination. And then you submit them on the government website, which we'll do at the end of the video, and then going to give us a certificate which we have to collect from the office, and I think they do it 4 times per year, so I hope we'll still be in the city when that's ready. Okay, so this is our first selfie moment here. There's 2 you can choose from, but this one's on the summit, so it seems more apt to get it with it. It's called Satgat Rock, so you need a picture with this, and that's your first selfie checkpoint. Now we're going to head back down and around to find our second summit. Who knows where that is? Oh, I think that's the other one. Yeah, you can get a picture with this as well. So it's right next to it. All right, on to the next destination. Yeah, so look at this view as we go down the stairs. Unbelievable, right? It's like if you saw my other videos where we went to Bugaksan National Park, the main national park north of the city 2 years ago, pretty much the same sights: stairs, rocks, forests, random creatures. Absolutely amazing how close it is to the main city of Seoul. It's unbelievable. You can pretty much take a metro over there and you start climbing the mountains, you know. It's truly remarkable. So built in 1396 during the Joseon dynasty. Seoul City Wall back then. Hanyang fortifies the residents and the city to keep it out from those pesky invaders, just like many cities in that era. If your city wasn't fortified with a good old-fashioned wall, contouring the mountains, keeping those pesky invaders out, then, well, as history repeats over the years, you'll basically lose your city. And it's happened before. So this 18.6 kilometer trail, we're going to be traversing 4 mountains, 1 down. We're just on to our second one now, which is the highest on the trail, but only by 4 or 6 meters, I think. So there's not much in it, but the first 2 are going to seem like the hardest because we come up from the city, and then once we're at the second highest summit, it's going to start getting easier. The third one, I believe, is like quite low elevation. It's a small park. Before we have our last slug up to Seoul Tower. So yeah, fantastic trail. Like, it's look at the wall here. It's been restored many times. So there's 2 things that put a big impact in the cityscape of the wall, or at least the construction of the wall. Number 1 being the Japanese occupation, destroying large segments of the wall, and secondly, unfortunately, the most common thing that ruins city walls is modern development, urban development. You saw how it was in the city there earlier. If you plan on following this trail, it's very hard to navigate in the city. Many hotels, buildings, business districts, shops, and shopping malls, which we all know and love, have unfortunately removed and replaced a lot of the old city wall. But fortunately, a lot of it still remains in these mountains, and it's been somewhat restored to this very day. And look at it here. Look, here it still sits today on this beautiful Seoul trail with familiar thousands of Korean steps. It's a solid leg workout. So we're at the base of Bugaksan Mountain right now. We just need to climb 342 meters because once we got up the first one, we came all the way back down. Now we've got to go back up again. But this one has quite a lot of history. So right now it's almost like a history museum where you can do tours and things, because this mountain backs onto what used to be the Blue House. Now, what is the Blue House? It's like the White House. So up until 2022, the Korean leader, the president, El Presidente, used to live in the Blue House, which backed onto this mountain. So it's tightly controlled, very secure. Lots of tall fences and barbed wire, which you can still see today, even 4 years later. So El Presidente has moved into the city now. He no longer resides here. But in the 1960s, the North Koreans infiltrated the site. It was a big thing on TV, all over the news. So ever since then, it's been quite tightly controlled. But since El Presidente no longer lives here, it's just sort of a memory of the past. So you can learn about things, but even today, you'll still see security checkpoints and various things along the way. Look at that gate, wow. So this is where we're heading here. So here we go. We just have 620 meters to go. So that's us, of course. Yeah, there's all the fencing and barbed wire, look. And maybe you can maybe even learn something along the way. I don't know, you can pause the video. There you go, there's some history. Alright, onwards and upwards, as they say. Here we go, here's another map. You can pause the video, take it in. Here's where we were before, here's where we are now, and there's sort of where we're going. Here's some more history. I think we already spoke about this, but you can fact check me. Pause the video. But that's not important. Check it out, bring your passport with you. There's a stamp box here. Look at that, that's a beautiful one to put in your passport. I think we're going to do that right now. There we go. It's a good one, isn't it? Wow. So this area looks very well maintained. Look at this. So easy to walk. Well, apart from the huge elevation with the stairs. Wow. Okay, we're almost at the second summit now. I can see the top. I can see the moon as well. Look at that. Wow. Alright, let's go. Enough excuses. Well, we made it. Here's the the second selfie checkpoint. And what do we have at the top? We have a gas cylinder, 2 benches, and another rock. What more could you ask for? I think that was probably the hardest one, but I don't know if it's because we already have one in our legs. Needless to say, we're over halfway, so our confidence is high. Wow, beautiful. I think the views were better at the first one. You can kind of see some stuff. Little marble tablet here. Says some stuff. Pause the video, not sure what. The rock of Bugaksan there. Wow, pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to get a picture with the landmark. Then we're going to press on all the way back down to the third one. And it's all of a sudden going to become a lot easier from here on in. But beautiful, very hot, 30 degrees. We're going to get a wicked tan after this, but let's go. Wow, look at that through there though. Beautiful. Okay, so we're just over 7.5 kilometers of the way in. We've done our second summit, and now we're on our way to Naksan Park. It's a mere 125 meters above ground, sea level, so I think it's going to be one of our easiest summits. But it is a long way from here to there. We're not even halfway with the distance, but we've already done 2 summits, so there's going to be a long period of getting back down there and winding back through the city. So let's see what we see on the way. But the views still look great, look. And this park is massive, you know, it's not just a mountain. There's so many networks of trails, and we're still on our familiar wall trail right now. Look at that. Wow. Found a cool little gate, look. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Looks like it's been restored a lot, but you get an idea of pretty much how it looked. It's crazy how much similarities you see between these gates in Korea and also in China. Almost down to the end of the roof tiles, where you see like a little crest or an emblem or a picture on the end of the tiles there. It really tells you how influential and how people took inspiration from different cultures and things. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? Alright, wow. What a treat, what a treat. So this must be the north wall, the north gate. We started at the southern gate. This is the northern gate, and we're almost halfway. So I think logic dictates it must be the northern gate. Wow, that's pretty solid, isn't it? Oh, it probably says it right on this. Did we win with logic? Did our logic win? There we go. It's the only remaining gate whose sides are still connected with the wall. Built in 1976, it was newly added to the wall. So just like many walls, many big walls, let's use the Great Wall of China for an example. It wasn't built all in one go. It was built in segments, in like provinces, I think it was called, before everything was united under one leader. And you can scale that up, you can scale it down, but I think the point of it all is it wasn't all built in one day. It wasn't all built in 1 year. So over the years, there's new segments, new gates, and new styles. I think I said earlier in the video, each mountainous segment had different, not materials, but styles, a different style of building the walls. So if you look at the sections earlier in the video and compare it to this section, you'll notice a different, a difference in style. But it could reflect when it was built. Maybe they just got bored and elected to do a different style through boredom. Who knows? But certainly it's a little bit different, and different is cool, isn't it? Wow. Okay, we're approaching on Naksan Park, or mountain. I probably won't call it a mountain, it's just over 100 meters. But we're almost there. Check it out. The wall looks completely different right now. It's got that familiar slope there, and oh, it perhaps could even be this way. Wow. Maybe it closes at a certain time, I'm not sure. I don't even know if this is the right way, but it certainly looks interesting, doesn't it? Wow, okay, see you at the top. Alright. Keep away from cracked wall. That doesn't fill me with confidence, it might come down. We're approaching another gate right now. It's funny, 2 years ago we went to Suwon, which is another kind of province or suburb of the greater Seoul area, and they have a city wall too, and it's absolutely beautiful, especially at nighttime where it's all lit up. You can go on the wall, there's lots of little trails and stairs and things, and it's absolutely amazing. But right now it looks like we're at another kind of gate here again. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be the east gate, which means we only have one more gate to go to loop back to the south, but it's got the sort of familiar tiles and design up there. It's quite empty at this gate, isn't it? Oh, here we go. We can find out all about it here. There we go. How wrong were we? Well, you can pause the video and find out. Oh, there you go. Northeast gate. So not quite the east, but we're getting there. Here we go. Aha, okay. Okay, yeah, so we started somewhere around here. There's our first mountain, there's our second, and now we're here. So we've pretty much done that. So our next one is Mount Naksan here, and then we're going to Seoul Tower, which is Namsan. So Naksan, Namsan. That's our next two. Oh, it looks absolutely great, doesn't it? Let's have a little peek underneath. But I imagine it's going to be similar to the northern gate. Oh, that looks cool. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, similar design. Wow. All right, onwards and acrosswards. Okay, well, nearly there. Everything feels maybe 3 times harder now we have 2 summits in our legs, but we're almost at the third one. There's no stairs this time, it's just a nice long green slope, look, with a wall next to it. Well, we made it, our third summit, Naksan Mountain or Park. At least I think that's what it says, but that's our third selfie spot, and we're 3/4 on the way of getting our official certificate for conquering modern day Seoul. Wow. Alright, wow, that one was easy, wasn't it? Alright, well, the next step is onward to Seoul Tower at our final destination, Namsan Mountain. And that one's a little bit higher. Alright. Wow, I'll see you there. Oh, the sun doesn't let up. Whew. Okay. Alright, we just have our 4th and final peak, and we can see it in the distance right behind us. Namsan Mountain, the home of Seoul Tower. And that is probably one of the summits you may have been to before if you've ever visited the city of Seoul. And that's how far away it is. Alright, let's get going. Well, we're back down into the city, back into weaving in and out, but there is a positive to that, and that is nice to see you. Tasty. Alright, we're almost there. I think I see another gate. I think that might be the east gate. Well, there's where we were, look. And if you want to learn about the gate, well, pause the video. There you go. Well, probably not much to report on right now. Modernization has pretty much removed any remnants of the old city wall of Seoul. Over the road there you can see remnants where there's bridges, but pretty much in the center, not too much going on. That is the fact of life. But I'm sure we'll pick it up momentarily. Wow, if you wondered what street food looks like, look at that. Looks a little tasty, doesn't it? Woo! Okay, we finally got through the bustling streets in the modern shopping centers. That's the toughest bit. It takes the longest time. But finally we're getting back into some nature, into Namsan Park. And check this out, look. A beautiful bridge from 1760, I think they said it was. So this is a bridge from 1760, and before that it was a wooden bridge. And it just leads off into the mysterious forest. That's actually probably where we need to go. I should check the map. But yeah, it's getting nice again. Look at that. Wow. So we're just heading up Namsan right now. Oh, the legs are dead. I think the sun got me. I'm feeling kind of dizzy, but I think we can make it. This is an independence monument memorializing the hatred of Japan. No, I'm only joking. They're just saying independent. We want to be independent. Screw you, Japan. We don't want your colonization. So we're going to build a monument to scare you away. Let's see how right I am. Oops. Here we go. The Proclamation of Korean Independence. Oh, pretty close, aren't we? Wow, there you go. You can. Oh, there's Japan. Wow, spot on. Wow. There you can pause the video. You get an idea. And yeah, there you go. Pretty cool, though, isn't it? Look at this. Wow. Some figures up here. Let me zoom in. Look at them. Wow, look at that. Things like this are so important, right? Like this, for example. Many countries, this would be censored. They're like, why are you showing that? Kids can see that. Well, if you don't see that, you don't learn. And if you don't learn, well, you're doomed. Doomed to make the same mistakes as your ancestors once did. So things like this, very important. It doesn't matter how bad they are. It doesn't matter how scary they are. History should always be remembered. Yeah. All right. Enough lollygagging. Let's carry on. All right. So we're just entering Namsan Park right now. We're climbing this very steady hill up to Seoul Tower. And when we get to this top of Seoul Tower, it's quite a popular spot to see the city at night time. So there's going to be a lot of people up there just looking out over the city. And underneath Seoul Tower, so when you get to the top of the mountain, I'm not joking, there is restaurants and shops inside the mountain. I'm not joking. If you don't believe me, I have another video on it. Alright, I think this is a theater, but our path, I think, just snakes around it. So let's see if we can find our way. I think it's sort of like that. Okay, here's our fourth and final park. I think we're over here somewhere, and we need to get over here. Or maybe we're here. I don't know, I think the map is flipped. Regardless, this is Namsan Park. Look at this. Look how clean it is. Look how nice it is. People sitting down, chilling. Wow. Very popular running spot. They have toilets, badminton courts. The badminton rackets you can just take for free and play. But they're not very good quality. But regardless, it's pretty cool. But if you're a runner, you'd love it here. So I think we might make sunset. Should be cool. All right, let's keep going. Oh wow, Okay, 1.3k separates us from the fourth summit. The only issue is it's yeah, ways up there. Damn. Well, our 4-hour plus journey is finally coming to an end. We're almost there. Just a bit more climbing and then we can get our last checkpoint. But for a city park, beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. I think this is our 20th gym we've probably seen on our travels. Fitness and looking lean, very important in Korea. Almost too much pressure to look good in a way. Look at these though. Super cool, right? Alright, almost there. So we found the city wall again. You tend to lose it in the city because there's so many modern buildings. You just get completely lost. I downloaded a map for my GPS that was just, it didn't work. But we found the wall again at least. But I think this journey is going to be a bit more than 20 k's. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But regardless, we almost did it. We're almost there. There's the beautiful city wall. Let's get this. All right. Last little slog. Looks like they've been doing some maintenance. Little piles of stones there. Got some restoration work over here. Wow. Oh, and you can get the bus here as well. So if you ever want to visit just this tower, you can get the bus. Wow, look at this final climb. Wow, it doesn't give up, does it? It doesn't let up. Okay, just 100 more meters. Then we've made it. Let's go. So we made it to the top. I've just got to find my my selfie spot. I'm not sure where it is. I'll figure it out. Here's Seoul Tower. This is where all the photos are taken. And we can see all the summits we've summited today. So there's the first one. There's the second one. And the third one, you see how much distance that was. The third one, I think, is somewhere around there. And here's the fourth one. Yeah, long way. Oops. Getting wrapped up in someone's pushchair for their baby. Yeah, Seoul Tower. If you want to go to the top, I think it was $20 or $30 last time I checked, something like that. I've never been up there. And yeah, like I said before, underneath shopping center, restaurant, and even a video game arcade. Got everything here. So I'm just going to find my spot, take a photo, tell you about the burners, and then we'll head back down. Alright, let's go. Oh wow, we can get more water here, look. Ah wow, a little pavilion. Wow, quite a nice modern area, isn't it? Wow. Okay, I think our last spot is just down here. Look at all these love locks here. I think there's a lot of debate about these love locks, isn't there? If the fence is built especially for it, I don't think it's a big deal. But what we have in Europe is a lot of, you know, like really old bridges and things like that, like hundreds of years old, and they'll put them on there, and then the bridge will erode, and it's pretty bad. But okay, and here we are at our last stop, our last summit. And now we've officially gotten our certificate from Korea. Well, I've got to make the application. We'll do that at the end of the video. Well, here it is, look, Namsan Mountain Fire Station. Fire station, well, where are the firemen? Where are the red fire engines? Well, I believe it to be an emergency beacon messaging system. So you would put things in here, get a little fire going, and then it gives off some smoke, and then you can signal other mountains. And perhaps way back when, those mountains we scaled and summited earlier in the video. There would be people up there receiving those messages, and this is where the source would come from. So yeah, where we are now, Namsan Mountain, very big. You can look out over the city. We can look for trouble and those pesky invaders. And we light our little fire, send some smoke, somehow do a message, and then everyone on every corner, on every gate, will know what we're saying. Maybe it's like an old school Korean Morse code or something. Pretty cool, isn't it? But here's where our journey ends, at the fire station on Namsan Mountain. Wow. Bit of restoration, but it still looks good. Okay, so we're just leaving modern technology and marvels behind and heading back to Seoul Station, where we started our journey. Well, the gate very near there. The city wall keeps on going and keeps on giving, like it always does. Alright, so I'm just heading down the northwest exit of Namsan Park right now. Still as beautiful as ever, still as clean as ever. And yeah, not much to say. I think I'm waffling because I'm tired. When I get back to the station in a few minutes, I'll tell you how long everything took. Everything else. Okay, see you in a second. I found the final bus of street gyms. Look at this. Street gym. Gym in the park. Holy crap. Wow, that's insane. Wow, be lucky if we get a broken swing in the UK. Got toilets as well. Wow. Amazing. I told you there was a lot of stairs. Hi, my nemesis. We meet again. We meet again. Well, we made it back where we started. Well, the southern gate is around 400 meters that way, but I'm taking the metro and I'm gonna get some dinner and a beer. So the whole thing ended up being 22 kilometers, which is 13.7 miles, just over 1,000 meters of elevation. So that'll be like 3,000 feet. 2 hours 50 moving time, but it took 4 hours 40 because I was making a video and I got lost twice and had some water. I went through 3 liters of water at 30 degrees. I'm not very efficient, maybe you are. And I think that is about everything. Oh, 3,000 calories as well. And you can see all of the sights around the city of Seoul on pretty much every single corner. So once you've got all your selfies, you can go onto the website, submit them all. Then you have to pick it up from the office in Seoul. So we'll see how that goes. If you fancy doing the trail, I highly recommend it. It's so nice. And everyone's so friendly on the trail as well. Like, if they see you're not from there, they start trying to speak with you. Someone helped me take some photos, and yeah, it's really cool. So highly recommend. Something a bit different from soju and bars and hookahs and karaoke bars with love hearts on, right? Okay, well, I'll see you in another video coming very soon. And goodbye from Seoul Station. Seoul Station looks like something out of London, doesn't it? Look at that. Look at that architecture. Wow. All right. Well, I'll see you in another one coming soon. Take care. So just before I show you the video where I collected the certificate, this is the website where you can actually apply for the certificate from the Korean sort of government here. So you can go to the URL, I'll put it in the video description. It also gives you the map and all the checkpoints where you take the photos, although you kind of saw those in the video, and also the pickup address as well. There's a button that says apply for the completion certificate, and when you go there you put in your name, birthday, gender, contact information, address, and the quarter. The quarter is a little confusing because the translation isn't great, but I think I'm under the impression when you submit everything you can pick up your certificate. I was under the impression that you picked it up after day 15 of the next month. It's actually before the 15th of the next month. So once you do it, I believe you can just collect it, and you can check the progress of your application on here as well. So let me show you the certificate pickup process. Let's go. Okay, fast forward 2 whole months. We're still here for some reason. So we're gonna pick up the finisher's certificate today. And it is a mammoth journey, look at that. Alright, see you there. Okay, here we are, we made it. This is where we pick up our certificate at the museum. There's actually 2 places you can pick it up, but this is one of them. And I think it's the best one because it's right next to Namsan Mountain, so it's sort of easy to find. I just got a metro to Seoul Station and I guess climbed is the right word. Climbed 25 minutes to get here. Alright, let's go. Okay, they got a whole office, look, just for this. There's some tricky times here. Check it out, we got it. We got a free gift as well. 2 free gifts. I'll find somewhere dry and then we'll go unbox it. I was dripping sweat in there like crazy. I felt really bad. It's so hot and humid in the summer. Okay, let's have a look. So check it out, guys. This is completely free. It just takes a nice day out. Hit all the 4 peaks. I got a little badge, and look at this. I got a little certificate binder as well. And inside, there's my free little cake. And look at that. Wow. How good is that? That's such a nice sort of government-led initiative to do exercise. Absolutely fantastic. Highly approve. Pretty cool.